Alright, what's up, guys? This is Tom, owner of the San Jose Sharpedos, and I guess I'm here to do what every person in the GBA has been doing, and I guess that is explain what happened, because even though there's only about, I don't know, what is it, 600, 575 people that watch my channel, I figure you guys deserve to know, at least from my perspective. Maybe it's not the most important perspective, but at least I'll explain what I think happened and how I think overall it the league kind of just crumpled to the point of where we are right now. So I was added by Steve back in season one. I've been here for the past 3 seasons, and he had only met me about 2 times in person. First time was at a PMP tournament down in Tenafly, New Jersey. And the second time, he was meeting his ex-girlfriend at Union Station, and while he was there, he needed somewhere to crash for a few hours, and so he came over to my house. At the time, I lived in New Haven, Connecticut. The station is right in same town. So he came over to my house, and we hung out for a few hours. Since then, we hung out about 2 times, 3 times. I went up to where he lives in his town in Connecticut. He came down to me for my spring weekend, and needless to say, Steve and I are friends in person. And something I want to stress in this video, yesterday, a lot of emotional words were thrown back and forth at me, from me especially. I apologize for those. A lot of things I said were very rash. But from my point of view, I just want to explain what I think happened. He added a bunch of people. He added, Tony Danza, Crowbat for the win, Alex, Kyle, Shady, Alina, Gubbs. We added a bunch of people. And the first season was kind of a means for Steve to build his popularity in terms of his channel. And by adding Shady hadn't gotten big yet. He got big in X and Y. He had big name people like Alina, and then he had himself, who his sub count was kind of on a decline. And Danza was kind of a small channel. I didn't upload, Kyle didn't upload, Alex didn't upload. So the people that he had added were, for the most part, small channels. Gubbs was kind of on and off, quitting, uploading, quitting, uploading. And season one, I think innately its problem was we kind of made the league and we figured out what was wrong as we went. There was no longevity plan in terms of how to make the league last for a long time. Not only that, but there was no structure. There were no rules. There were no guidelines. We all kind of just asked Steve, what do we do? And that year, season one and season two, he took on a lot of roles. He handled an Excel sheet that he gave screenshots for all of us to use. He ran the WordPress. Kyle in season two for 4 weeks, he handled the WordPress, but after a while he kind of just got lazy. Hell, we all get lazy. So in terms of him, Steve did a lot. I'll give him that. He did a lot of work. But then season three rolled around. In season two we added Cooper. We added Nick, who was already in the chat in season one, just didn't get added in season one. And then we added Cooper, and we added John, my rival, and we added Joe. And since then, all these people that I'm mentioning, I have been, and Kote as well. All these people I'm mentioning, I am great friends with. I talk to them on a very common, all the time. I text John, I text Alex a lot. I talk with Joe, Nick, and Gubbs, and Kote almost every night. So the people that I met that were added became good friends of mine. We all became good friends, except in season three. There were people that we didn't. People I'm mentioning, there were some people we didn't like. Obviously, we can't have 14 to 16 people be in a league and have everyone like everyone. There has to be some people that we have a problem with, or that we just don't really click with. For example, and I don't care about naming names. Danza kind of got on people's nerves every once in a while. He kind of came off a certain way. He was also the youngest one of all of us, so I will give him some slack. Youngest one of all of us except Roger, but that was season 3, so there's a caveat to that one. And then from there, Nexus didn't really try. There was, Shady. We added him for popularity, but on the same token, there were times where he didn't really try. Nexus never talked in the chat. He never really tried once he started losing because let's be honest, his team wasn't the best. There were 2 times where he tried to draft Pikachu in the first round, and we were like, "Do you really want to do that? Like, your is that your final answer? This is not. Do you want to be a millionaire? But is that really your final answer?" And then in season 3, we were looking to add. We had 14. We had issues going, starting up the league, from the off season into season 3, and we had issues as to who to add. And at first, it was only going to be Miguel and Roger, and then we decided to add 2 more, fill it to 16. And believing our vote went down, Adam, TNA TV, was almost unanimous. Yes, Adam. But then we had the last one more spot we had to fill. And that's where the problem came. Because the name Dan came up. Nothing against Dan, but I thought he didn't have the experience to be in the league. Okay, yes. You can learn, you can adapt. That's what we do. We can all adapt. And he adapted well. I'll give him that. He did a great job learning how to play this league because this is not your standard format. This is not Showdown. Showdown takes a metagame and puts it into a little box and tells you what mons that are good, what mons are usable in this tier, what mons aren't, what mons are bad, what mons are good, stuff like that. But he learned. But from the get-go, I didn't really think he was a good fit. And I think people were very split on him. I personally didn't like him. That was just me, though. Then also Nexus. We wanted to get rid of Nexus. He didn't try, and he wasn't, a good addition for the long term. But we also debated on adding Gary and Leo. And like Joe said in his video, one person kind of forced their opinion on other people, and that's why Leo didn't get in. Now, for all I know, Leo could have been a terrible person. When we added him into the league, he could have been an awful person to be in the GBA. We also could have added Gary. Sorry. DS Reaver. I think he would have been a fantastic addition. Hell, he did a great job in the D League. But we were also kind of split on him. We also had Hank the Pidgey and are trying to determine. But adding those people, we kind of polarized. We were polarized on who didn't like Shady. I had a problem with Shady season 1, but that's resolved. That was in the past. It wasn't a big deal. Next, I didn't think he tried. Dan, he just didn't rub me the right way. I can't even tell you why. He just didn't. And then Danza kind of rubbed people the wrong way. Not necessarily me. I thought he's a great person. Hell, he recorded most of my battles, and I can't thank him any more than what he did already. But I think I kind of resent Dan because he kind of called out. Joe kind of called him out. He called Joe out. Whatever the hell the situation was. And Joe quit because he lost to him. And Joe's pride innately removed himself from the league. But Dan, like I said, learned the format very quickly. But my other points, things that kind of brought this crumpling down, we had issues going in from the off-season season 2 into being a season 3. Steve was around for most of season 1 and season 2. He worked, had a social life, assisted us when whenever we needed it. But then when people started to take more responsibilities, he wasn't around as much. He has a personal life. But it's not the fact that he wasn't around. It's that he called himself a leader in terms of running the league, and then he went ahead and just didn't show up. Or he showed up like once or twice a week. And it went from having the creator around often to having the creator around almost never. And yes, there's a difference. When someone wants to say that this is my idea, this is the league that I created, and you guys are here, and you're in this because I chose you, or whatever you want to call it. and you want to be considered a leader, and the guy that everyone looks at in terms of, like clarification. Yes, I made the rules, but you're the guy that we all look to, in the end, just to clarify what we're trying to discuss as a group. Yes, you were there for trades, for team names or changing team names. You were there for voting on rule changes. You were there for. That's not the point. You were. We look to you as a leader. We look to you as someone who can be there just for clarification and just for presence, to know that it's like going to a job and you have a boss, but your boss never shows up. So things kind of start falling apart when you don't have your boss there. Um, I can say that from experience. Like, if you don't have your boss there to kind of fix something when something breaks or when something goes wrong, then innately the whole area, the entire place starts to break down. I think that's what's kind of happened because, okay, no, Steve didn't need to be a mediator. Steve didn't need to be someone to deal with our little quabbles amongst each other. But he did just need to be there. And he did just need to show his presence that, hey, I'm here. You know, I'm the guy. Be the guy. But it wasn't just him. It was the disliking of one another. It was the disagreements. I think it was the lack of interest by a lot of people. Gubbs had quit many times. Cote had left once or twice because he didn't agree with who we were adding, and rightfully so. John started not having fun. I don't know if I said Nick. Nick started not having fun. Even Joe had issues in terms of his interest in the league. You can look at there were times in season 2 where he'd lose and it would be hard for him to kind of get that interest back the next week. I kind of felt like that in the beginning of season 2, but I'm a fighter. I learn from my mistakes and I fight back. So it was the mixture of just we didn't agree on things, we didn't like people, and then people lost interest. This is a 3-month commitment, guys. Like, that's the thing that people don't seem to agree with in terms of what the GBA entails. This is not just, oh, we come together and we battle and then we go on with our lives. No, this is a 3-month commitment where you sit down. If you want to be good, you sit down and you think and you dissect and you predict and you build and then you perfect and then you nitpick and then you kind of build how you think the battle's gonna go and what they're gonna try. You try and get inside their mind. They're trying to get inside your mind, and it's a process. It's a huge process. It's not something simple like just going into a Wi-Fi battle and just bring whatever the fuck you want and then that's it. It's a process, and people didn't seem to get that when you start. And also, the going gets tough when you start losing, and you start losing often, or you have a bad year, you have a bad draft, or you have just your team just doesn't quite fit to either your play style or you have one glaring weakness, one common weakness that someone could just exploit. Like, for example, in my team in season 2 and 1, I had a big fairy, electric, ice, and rock weakness. I think I still have 2 of those weaknesses. But you work on them in the draft, and if you don't know how to draft, or you're just bad at drafting, those issues are still there, so you have a bad team. And that kind of adds to you not enjoying yourself, or not wanting to try. But yeah, that's what I think. I'm not going to attack Steve. I think I did that enough yesterday, and I feel bad about it, because he doesn't deserve that. Yes, he's my friend. I don't want to ever burn my bridges with Steve. You know, That's not what I want to do. That's not what I want to do. I don't want to burn my bridge with anyone else in the league either. I think we all were great people. We all, deep down, we were great people. We weren't, petty. We weren't, like, yeah, we weren't bad people. There were times where we got into arguments over stupid shit. There were times that, if we were going to call Steve out on something, he did kind of victimize himself or was a little passive aggressive. But that's just our flaws, and we're showing them, and that's whatever. That's why the league kind of fell apart, at least from the way I saw it. Each person in season at the end of season 2 took on their own roles. You saw Gubbs and John and even Chris, who I will thank Chris. I'll thank Gym Leader Geo, and I'll thank Tony from TNA TV. I'll thank them from here to China and back, because they did a great job, and they weren't getting paid to do any of it, but they took on that responsibility themselves, and I thank you guys. I'm saying that in this video. I thank everyone that was in the GBA. I thank everyone like John and Gubbs who took on the D-League. I'll thank myself. I made the rules. I have that rules document, and I give it to anyone who wants them if they're trying to make their own league. It's a good format for anyone to kind of look at. I'll thank Cooper. I'll thank Chris and Steve for organizing all the data, the Excel sheets, the Google Docs, all of that. I'll thank the competitors. And I know I'm going to see these people. I know I'm still going to talk to these people. It just, at the time being, right now, the fun wasn't there, the commitment wasn't there, and that's why we fell apart, guys. And that's what happened. And that's where we are right now. And when I say that I'm in a stasis, I mean the Sharpedos team is in a stasis. Me, I'll keep uploading. But where we are right now, it's hard to say, because, hell, the idea of the GBA is a fantastic idea. Joe said that, Miguel said that, anyone who made a video about this said that. It's just the commitment is the hardest part. The long commitment, the long haul, not the temporary, 1 week at a time. So, those are my thoughts. If I'm missing anything, so be it. I talked about how we added people, how there was no structure in the league. The rules weren't there until the end of season 2. Yeah. I think if the way I guess I can criticize this for the future is, if we're going to try and make this league work in the future, we don't add people for sub counts. We don't add people solely because we think they can get bigger. We do add people who want to be there. We add people who are competitive, not hyper competitive like, some might think, but who want to try, who want to succeed, and also who understand how to draft or how to build a team using a draft system. Be familiar with what you're walking into. Don't just learn as you go. Learning as you go is kind of what could, kill someone's motivation. And then not only from that, have a plan. Have a structure. Have rules. Know what you're doing before you start something. Know your goals. Know your potential problems. Know the people who you're adding. All those type of things, I think, if this was to happen again, maybe the contract systems might not have been the best idea, but they were a damn good idea. I do think the contract systems work. I think trading caps need to be implemented. But just all those things. If this is the restart, and this is a call for anyone who wants to make this league, just have a plan in mind. And then if you're going to lead it well. Know how to just have a presence, and then know how to be a mix of enforcer, a leader, a guide, someone someone that people can come to for guidance, who they could talk to, and maybe not, you don't have to be there all the time, just be there. Create an omniscience. So I'm pretty sure that's where I'm going to end this. I'm at 19 minutes or close to. I want to end this right now. Again, like I said, if I'm missing anything, so be it. I think I got my points across. I think that this will add to what Joe said, and then what Shady said, then what Miguel said, and then what Steve has said. And like I said, I don't mean to attack anyone. I don't want to put anyone down. I don't want to burn my ties with any of these people. If anything, if I'm in another league and the GBA V2 starts up, I'd like to be a consultant for the GBA, just to be in the mix of it, and maybe even to be just an outside third party who understands how it works, and then just to be able to assist in case there's an issue. So, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you guys, enjoyed it. So, talk to you guys soon, and look out for some content in the future. So.